Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. And with us today, we have Joseph Loughran, our Marketing Vice President. And then we have our special guest speaker, Stephen Johnson, who helped develop the IUL software that we're going to talk about on today's presentation. This is literally a game changer for anyone. I don't care if you're a health insurance agent, P&C agent, if you're a financial advisor. So any part of the insurance world that you focus in on, this is guaranteed to help you make IUL sales, or if you're already selling IUL, this is going to help you up your game tremendously. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. So this is just another tool that we offer in the iGenius platform, in the Levinson arsenal, if you will. So it's so important. And before we move forward here, I just want everyone to understand that we are so different and unique, compared to the other IMOs and MGAs or FMOs, whatever they want to call themselves. It's just a completely different model that Levinson and Associates is on. And guys, if you can mute your phone for a second, that would be great. Okay, sorry about that. So and I just wanted to point this out because, we have our weekly marketing meetings, and we have all the marketers in on these meetings, and we talk about, what's hot, what's not, what's working, what's not, and, just how the overall feel is for the agents that are calling in. And, everybody, says, especially recently, we were just on the cover of Insurance Newsnet. We had a two-page spread about me and my father and how the agency started. So, I'm interested to see how, the feedback that we're getting, what the agent's perception is of the article. And, we're getting a lot of new agents that are calling in the office. So, we're asking everyone questions, each marketer, and a couple of the marketers said to us, it's unbelievable how some of these new agents are saying to us that the agency or FMO that they've been working with, for the last 5 years or 20 years or 30 years, how they don't have anything close to the tools or the turnkey platform that you guys offer, and they're mind blown. They're saying, I wish I would have known about this years ago, and I'm so glad I found you guys. Send me licensing. I want to get set up, blah, blah, blah. And, when I'm hearing this, it's kind of a shock to us because, we don't focus on what our competition is doing. We focus on making Levinson and Associates platform bigger and better and more valuable to our agents. So, we have our blinders on, we're running 100 miles an hour, and we're constantly going forward. We're not worried about what the competition is doing. So, we're in our own little world here trying to make things bigger and better. So when I heard comments like that, I was blown away, and I'm saying to myself, our competition is literally giving out a contract in an 800 number and saying, here's a high commission schedule, and here's the carrier's 800 number if you have any questions, and here's our website if you want to go online, and good luck, and I hope you write lots of business, and that's the end of it. Where here it's a completely different world. That's just one piece of it. The majority of what we do every day is we manage, build, and create this new technology or sales ideas or software, which is, what you're about to see today. That's how we look at this. It's like reading a label on a jar, from the inside, and that's where we are. And then, hearing these comments from agents who are on the outside. So I don't know. It totally was a shock to me that, how can they not show the agents how to sell the products and give them the tools they need to get their foot in the door and to share their story? In other words, what good is a contract that's 240% commissions if you have nobody to sell the product to? So I was blown away by when I heard this, and I've been in the business 20 plus years now. Carrie has been in the business since '72, It's when the agency started. So we've obviously been around a long time. I'm at the NALBA, the big annual meeting every year. So we're in the loop. So I don't know. I couldn't believe, hearing this from other agents and how these agencies are just not doing anything to help their agents. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, let's focus on all of the positive. We have an awesome IUL sales software platform that Steve is going to talk about. It is complimentary to you for 4 months, so it's completely free for 4 months. Okay, and what has to happen is if you like the software and you want it to continue, you do have to write a minimum of $5,000 of premium that first 4 months, so we give you plenty of time to get up and running. As soon as you write that premium, we pay for the software moving forward, so it doesn't wind up costing you 2 cents out of your pocket. That's simple. Okay, if you try it for 4 months and you don't write anything, okay, then obviously you don't owe us anything. You move forward. That's the end of it. But I will say the only way to use the software and not write any premium from it is if you're not using the software. It's that simple, because I know for a fact that it works. So it's great, awesome stuff that you're going to hear about in just a few more minutes. But without further ado, we're going to move forward here and definitely take out a pen and paper, jot down any notes, questions that you might have. We do have a closed line because of the number of attendees, but we would be more than happy to visit any concerns, questions after the call, and we will make sure that you are up and running and completely comfortable with our IUL sales software. Okay, so what's next at Levinson? And like I was saying, we were just on the cover of the October issue. That's me and Carrie on the left side. And that is what I assume is what has driven a bunch, I mean literally thousands of agents to call, email, or send direct messages to our office. So it's been a little crazy, but it's good crazy. On the right side, okay, and this is just in, you're getting a sneak peek. So Insurance Newsnet magazine does an annual tech guide special edition issue. So we are so happy and delighted that we were featured in their annual tech guide. That is the article. As you can see on the right side, it says, "The Life Agent's Wish Granter. You asked for it, and Bill Levinson delivered again." So what this is all about is I'm telling you, another game changer. This is Agency Automator, the ultimate CRM tool on steroids that delivers 1,000 new prospects to you every single month at no charge. And again, if you're active with us in writing, the Agency Automator is free to you as well. So, our whole thing is, as long as you're active in your writing business with us, you will never have to reach in your pocket for anything. And you'll have the most technologically advanced agency in the industry at no charge to you. Obviously you have to be active in writing with us, but that's our promise to you. Okay, let's move forward. We're going to talk about what else is new and how we are constantly changing the industry. Joe, you want to go to the next slide there? Okay, what's new at Levinson? Like I said, we're out there every day trying to find what's next, maybe what's working in other industries, and try to bring those tools and technology over to the life side. There's a lot going on right now, especially with this new DOL ruling. A lot of agencies are using this DOL hook as a marketing tool, which it shouldn't be used for that. The bottom line is nothing is set in stone yet. Okay, so there's no reason to get crazy and change your whole business platform. I'm going to the NALBA meeting in Dallas in just 2 weeks, and we're going to find out all of the facts, and I will be the first one to report everything to our agents via a live webinar presentation. So we did put together a DOL sales toolkit. If you want to read up on everything, we also have the latest FAQs that just came in from the DOL yesterday. So all of that is available in our DOL toolkit, which is on our website, or we can email it out to you, whichever easier. Okay, also, we'll talk about a few things. We're the first IMO to come out with our own fully functional Levinson app. Okay, this is a free download. in the iTunes App Store and in the Google Android App Store. And from this app, in other words, you can pull out your smartphone from anywhere and do everything that you'll need to do from our website right from your smartphone. So now, let's say you're at your son's football game or basketball game, and you're sitting next to your neighbor, and you talk about, what you do for a living, and you say, I'm a life insurance agent, and they say, well, I'd love a life insurance quote. Pull out your phone, run a quote. If they're interested, you can literally sign them up through a drop ticket e-app on your phone instantly, okay? In less than 7 minutes, you just ran a quote, ran a underwriting assessment, sign them up for life insurance, and you are done. Within 24 hours, the app goes into processing. Underwriter takes full control. You are done. You'll get emails every step of the way. Then you can even log back in through your cell phone to check the latest status from that particular application or client. So this is industry changing. The Levinson mobile app, it should be out any day now. We're just waiting on the final approval from Apple. So very excited about that. Our Lightning level term product, okay, I'm sure you've heard about our regular Lightning term. It's been out for 2 years now. First term insurance product that is sold completely by the client, okay? 100% client-driven, 0% agent involvement. It's the first term product ever to be parked on a website, a social media page, email blasted, where a client can run a quote, sign up online, have a policy delivered to their doorstep within 3 days with a full scholarship. So that is awesome, and the prices are great. We now have our level guarantee term product available. We bumped up the face amount to $150. Issue age is 18 to 64. It's even now convertible. So that is awesome. Still 100% client-driven. So the decreasing mortgage-type product has been out now for 2 years. We made it even better. And then the level version, we just literally went through the full walkthrough last week. So we should have it in your link or on your website within 5 to 7 days. Okay, most of the states are already approved, so we'll keep you posted on that. But we have great, great stuff going on between the IUL software, the Levinson app, the agency automator, the Lightning level term. There is no one that's even close to us in 2016 and 2017. So we'll keep you in the loop with all of our latest updates and changes, but just know and have peace of mind that if there's a new product, new concept, new technology that comes to the surface, we will be the first ones to bring that to our agents to make sure you're always one step ahead of the competition. Okay, so before I introduce Joe, I'm just going to give you a 10-second brief overview about Agency Automator. It's been 14 months now that we've been working on the ultimate CRM tool for life insurance agents. It's called Agency Automator, and it is finally coming to a head with an official rollout day of November 9th. We couldn't be any more excited. Just real quick, the problem with CRM tools, if you know what a CRM is, it's a client relationship management tool. The issue is there's tons of them out there. They're very costly, very expensive, very difficult to get your arms around, okay? And C, most of these aren't even geared towards insurance agents or insurance business. They're geared towards, sales in general, car sales or eBay sales. So what we wanted to do was build a life insurance agent CRM tool and have a prospecting side that helps you drive traffic to your website, to your Lightning term link, to your social media pages, helps you sprinkle on all of your potential prospects in your zip code or with any criteria that you put in the system. This is a game changer, and I promise you, you will hear about this now and for many years to come, because we're constantly going to make the Agency Automator bigger and better. Joe's going to dive in a little more, and then we're going to roll into the official feature presentation today. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So like you mentioned, there are two sides to the Agency Automator platform. The first side, of course, helps you stay in contact with all your clients. One of the great statistics I always like to use is that the average agent actually makes a sale on the 5th to 12th contact. and only about 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So what we learned by that is it's very, very important to stay in touch with clients, extremely important to follow up with them. There's really, like Bill said, a lot of tools to kind of help you do that, but none of them are driven from the ground up by an insurance sales perspective. So that's what this tool does, like Bill mentioned. What's so great about it, I think he alluded to this in the beginning of the conversation, this tool not only tracks your clients and generates additional sales, but it actually helps you prospect in your neighborhood for additional clientele. You can actually, like Bill said, have 1,000 new leads reached every single month. Those lead credits never expire, and we're actually rolling out the platform officially on November 9th. So there'll be an additional training webinar. You can actually get started, get signed in. One thing I want to mention about the CRM platform through Agency Automator is that it has one of the most advanced email marketing campaign systems in the industry. Most email campaign tools let you send out one email at a time. This actually has an automated campaign with embedded videos. You can track who actually opens those emails. And then it has a reactive type of smart tool built into it, so that, for example, if I send a client an email on long-term care insurance and they watch the video, they can actually receive an automated email within 24 to 48 hours. So it's going to actually alert you to what different emails those clients are interested in. It's completely CAN-SPAM compliant, which means you don't have to worry about all the compliance issues. You can choose from any of those templates, so your clients will automatically get those emails for anniversaries, for policy reviews, for birthdays, for holidays. Everything is built into the system, and again, it does something extremely unique, unlike any other email marketing campaign tool, which is finding people in your neighborhood that are interested in actually buying insurance. So you can sort by date of birth, you can sort by income, by zip code, people that work for different businesses. There's actually over 30 million prospects built into this campaign tool. So definitely one of the most unique things that we've ever seen in our industry. The best part about the platform, like Bill mentioned, for active Levinson agents, it doesn't cost you a penny. All you have to do is just write one case a month with a minimum premium of about $83 a month or $1,000 of annualized premium. And again, any sort of production counts. So if you're not really that heavily invested in the life insurance, maybe you're writing disability or critical illness or even annuity products through our annuity division or long-term care, even accidental death and supplemental products count. So it's a great way to kind of, jump in, start using that tool to not only track your existing clients, but also to make sure that you're prospecting for new ones. And that's really been the challenge is, like Bill said, you can have the best agent website in the world, have the best products, but if you have nobody to talk to about those products and platforms, how good are they really? So that's the point of that Agency Automator tool. Again, keep your eyes peeled. We will have a rollout webinar on the 9th to actually get you enrolled and get started with the complete platform.
Yep, and what's so cool is you talk about, writing more IUL sales, and that's what this webinar is about. So once you're set up with Agency Automator and you're set up with our IUL sales software, which you're going to see in just a second here, now you go into Agency Automator and you say, okay, I want to pull up prospects in these zip codes that are right around my office or my house, okay, and I want everyone that is between 32 and 45 years old that makes an average income of whatever number I want to plug in, and say all white-collar workers, maybe new families that just had babies in the last 6 months. And the system will then tell you every name, address, phone number, and email for every prospect that falls into that criteria. Now you send out your IUL campaign that's already built for you in the system. You just customize it with your logo and information. You hit the send button, and you are done. Then you follow up with, say, a mailer or a phone call or a personal email to every prospect that comes up in that zip code. So it really works hand in hand. Then, of course, when you get a prospect on the phone, they want to talk about IUL, pull off the IUL sales software, and it makes for a no-brainer presentation. You will get the sale 9 out of 10 times. So the system works, okay? Just real quick, IUL sales software, I'm not going to take away Steve's thunder, but just so you know, I mean, you're going to see all the value added here. The program works. Okay, and if you were to buy this off the street, it's $480 annually. With Levinson, you will get this for free for 4 months, and then if you want to continue the program, as long as you've written at least $5,000 of paid IUL premium, okay, which is only a case or two, maybe three, okay, because usually they're larger cases, then we pay for the software for you for the rest of the year and then start over for the following year. But it's that simple. So in other words, there's no cost to you to try it for 4 months, no skin off your back, very simple. The left column, if you look at that screenshot in front of you, is the client's current plan, the existing plan. That could be any type of investment plan, a Roth, IRA, 401k, and then you're showing on the right side the tax-free indexed universal life that you're proposing. So you're showing all the different values in every column on the IUL versus their existing plan, and then you go literally column by column with your client, and then in that red box in the right corner, it shows the total savings to your client. So 9 out of 10 times you are going to make this sale, and the average premium is anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a year. So you can just imagine what kind of commissions that we're talking about. Joe's going to show you what kind of training material is available, and then Steve will take it from here.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Now, again, not to steal too much of Steve's thunder here, but I want to make sure everybody knows this tool is one of the easiest and most efficient ways to present the IUL sales product that we've ever seen. There's some excellent consumer videos available on demand that really help you explain the entire market risk, whether someone has a 401k, an IRA, or any sort of mutual fund, and it really simplifies the Index Universal Life presentation. So we will be emailing everybody at the end of today's webinar with all the information to get started, including the link to actually go ahead and download the software so you can start using it as early as this afternoon. And included in there will also be everything that we covered prior to transferring over the control here to Steve. But that's some great things to look out for, and keep your eyes peeled. That email should go out about 4:30, 5 o'clock today.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And just know, too, when you're watching Steve's presentation, okay, even if you barely know how to reply to an email, don't worry about anything. We're here to help you get comfortable. The tax software program even has a 800 phone number. It's a support desk, and they will make sure that you are up and running and comfortable with the entire program. So you have nothing to worry about, okay? All right, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Steve Johnson, who is going to dive into the IUL sales software. Steve?
Well, thank you all very much. Everybody, you got a big opportunity here in front of you. They're going to show you how to get in front of clients, and now I'm going to show you how to close those clients. And the simple fact is, the majority of people, well, they just simply tell people about the good things that an IUL is, and they try and sell them. You don't have to sell an IUL. What you have to do is educate people so that they understand the financial benefits. And in the past, that was near impossible because there were so many things that were left out. So I'm going to give you a quick outline of this calculator first. So up in this area, let me get this ready, sorry about that. So right up here, this is where we have some basic information. How old is the person? When are they going to stop saving? When are they going to start taking income? What tax bracket are they in? What tax money will they be paying in retirement? How much do they pay for their 401k? And the rates of return. In this column right here, this would be, like they said, this is their program like a 401k, Roth IRA, whatever. And over here, this is where the IUL is. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare the numbers on a side-by-side basis. So what are we going to compare? Well, how much taxes did they pay over their lifetime? This little box right here in the center, that's where we change the age. So instead of having page after page after boring page of illustrations, you're simply going to raise this age up, and it's going to compare the taxes that they pay over their lifetime, the fees that they pay, the income they take home, the death benefit, and altogether that spells out the total advantage of the IUL. And like I said, you don't have to. As a matter of fact, we highly suggest that you do not try to sell an IUL, because when you're selling, everybody hates to be sold. It's just a fact. There's not a person on this call right now that likes to be sold anything. What they want is for you to explain the value and the benefits. Quit trying to sell it. They don't like it. And it's going to compare all of this information right here, the taxes that they pay, the fees, the income, the death benefit, and what we call the total advantage over a period of time. Now, on top of that, we have these little pop-ups so that when you're talking to somebody, you're able to pull up their particular information. Now, one of the things that we do, and it's quite different, we have sample cases. In other words, we're not going to get on the phone and say, well, tell me all about your information, Mr. Client. It's a little bit different. We actually take a totally different approach. We say, hey, how old are you? Well, I'm 36. Well, let me show you a client that's 35. Or they're 41. Well, let me show you an example of somebody that's 40. Because why should they bother getting together with you when they have no idea what an IUL is? What are the benefits? So we turn it around, and you can use this as a remote presentation, just like I'm doing right now. You can use Join Me or some of these other free software sharing, and you can get on a phone and say, hey, look, I don't want you to come to my office. I don't want to come to your home. I just want to take 10 or 15 minutes, and I want to show you this information. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to ask you 2 simple questions. Would you like to see what your numbers would look like? And if you don't, just promise to tell me no thank you. It's not right for you. That pitch is totally disarming because they're used to people trying to sell them. Oh, let me come to your home. Come into my office. Fill out this big old data sheet. Why in the world would somebody want to give you, a person they've never met, all of their financial information so they can meet with you? There's thousands of advisors out there. So we say, you know what? Show a sample case. Make them go, wow, this makes sense. It's all numbers, right? So we've got all this information here. You can show them, hey, here's the history of the market over the past 15 years. This is the rate of return that we're looking at. By the way, did you know that you have fees for your mutual fund? Did you know on top of that you have fees for your 401k? You know, 401k average book is saying your fees are about anywhere from 0.8% to 2%. Oh, and on top of that, you've got mutual fund fees. Forbes is telling you those fees run on average about 4%. Well, 4 and 2 is 6, right? But we're only going to start off at 2%. And the market, well, over the past 15 years, Wall Street's only averaged about 2%. And that's called the CAGR, the true rate of return, the compound annual growth rate. So this program right here is like what used to be called a Ben Franklin, right and left side-by-side comparison. So here we are at age 40. This person has been putting in, let me make sure if I got this box pulled up here. This person is putting away $20,000 a year. Well, what if they quit funding their 401k? Well, they'd have to pay the taxes of 25%. That would leave them $15,000. That $15,000 is what you'd plug into your 401k. Now, in this particular example, Mr. Client, here's what's going on. He took this $15,000, he put it into this tax-free plan, and that tax-free plan provided him with $76,000 of tax-free income. You can see right here, there's no taxes being paid because the IUL is tax-free. Now, if he was putting away $20,000 into his 401k from age 40 to age 65, and he started taking out the same amount of money, I mean, everybody wants the same amount of money, well, he'd have to take out $101,000, pay taxes in order to get the same net income, right? Well, look what happens. And again, we haven't raised taxes. Everything's the same. We're very conservative. Here we are at the end of age 40. If that person died, they'd have about $15,000 to give to their spouse. After paying taxes, that's all they'd have left over. With an IUL, they have a $398,000 death benefit. So on day one that they signed their IUL contract, they have a benefit of over $382,000. Nobody knows when they're going to pass away, right? They have absolutely no clue. But here's the amazing part. Look at this. By putting away $20,000 and paying the taxes and paying the fees, they're going to only run out of money at age 77. The IUL is going to give them tax-free income until the day they pass away, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the most important thing about this calculator. And it's called pain, fear, and pleasure. Because those are the three things that you need in order to motivate somebody to do something. Now here's the simple fact. Most people have absolutely no clue whatsoever how much they're going to pay in fees. But you already told them, hey, you do have fees. So in year one, look at this. They've only paid $426. What about the IUL? Well, Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman always say, well, it's too expensive. Well, look what they paid. $2,354. So it is a little bit more expensive the first year, right? But let's take a look and see what happens. I'm going to change the age, and this is where we change the age. You can change it 1 year at a time, or you can change it 10 years. Let's go up 10 years. Look at the fees. This is your pain box right here. And you don't mention it directly, but you're going to point these numbers out to people. $32,000 versus the IUL is only $25,000. There's a savings of over $6,000. They're still running out of money. We're still ahead by $365,000. Well, let's take this up a couple more steps. I'm just going to make it simple for you guys, because if I go up 10 years, we still have a death benefit advantage. The fees are going up a little bit more. They're still running out of money. Most people think, well, I'll live to 85. That's a reasonable age. So here at 85, let's take a look. How did the IUL do? Remember, this is all based on math. You don't have to sell them. You just start pointing out the numbers. $600,000 of additional income and a death benefit. How much did they pay in fees? $341,000. Did they know that? These people have no clue whatsoever what they're paying on their fees. And that's at age 85. They only took home $915,000. This money, this $341,000, where did that come from? That came from that $20,000 they saved up. But they didn't know they were going to give away $300,000. That's what, 32% of all the money that they took home, they ended up paying out in fees, and they're running out of money at 77. Well, look at this. They took home $915,000, ran out of money at 77. We're at age 85. The IUL's provided at this point $1.5 million. That's $607,000 of additional income. And there's a death benefit. Now, they had no clue. Now, usually when I'm showing people this, I get up to age 85, and before I start a conversation, I say, hey, look, at the end, I'm going to ask you two questions. Do you want to see what your numbers would look like? And if you don't, you got to promise to tell me, no, this is not right for me. And by the way, you want to get rid of those people. If somebody sees over $1 million of benefit and they say, no, thank you, that's a person you would have just wasted time on chasing. They don't get this, move on to the next person. But here's the surprising part. We're not ready to ask that question yet. Why? Well, there's some moves we got to make. And again, I tell people quit selling, and selling is telling. So if you tell somebody what their fees are, guess what? You're selling. But if you point this out and you say, look, I'm just trying to educate you. If they're saying somewhere around 2% plus 4% is 6, what do you think is a reasonable number to put in here for the current plan fees? By the way, do you know how much your plan fees cost you? And they usually go, no. Well, my goodness, would you buy a house or car or anything else and not know what you're paying? Well, no. Well, U.S. government passed a law 2 years ago. Department of Labor says you can call up and find out what your fees are. So what do you think would be a reasonable number to put in here instead of 2%? Let's just say they go, well, I'm going to keep it at 2%. Do you really care? No. Why? Because we already beat the pants off of the 401k or that qualified plan. Because they're running out of money. We're not running out of money, right? And we're providing more income. And they're paying less in fees. But what if they say, well, yeah, you know, probably say 3.5%. Watch age 77 and watch the income. You ready? Oh, my goodness. 3.5%. Now they're out of money at 73. Look what they paid in fees. $400,000. And they only took home $635. Oh, what is that now on a percentage basis? 50, 60, 70%? Look at the income. Now we're providing over $887,000 and a death benefit. But there's one more move to make, right? So what happened in the past? Well, over the past 15 years, they actually only made between 2 and 3%. Why? Well, the same reason that we all know. The IUL doesn't lose any money when the market goes down. We lock in those gains. But the market, well, remember 2000 and 2007? Yeah, where the market dropped 20 to 40%. So what do you think would be a reasonable number to put into your plan rate of return? And remember, Mr. Client, well, let me ask you a question. When you retire, or 5 or 10 years before you retire, are you going to leave your money in the market where it could take a substantial loss? Or are you going to put it somewhere safe? Well, I'll probably put it somewhere safe. Well, where would be a safe location? Well, a savings account, a money market account, a CD, and how much are they paying? Well, maybe 0.5%, or maybe if I had an annuity, 2 or 3%. So if you only made 2%, then you're going to put your money somewhere safe. What do you think would be a reasonable number to put into this current plan, your 401k type program? What do you think would be a reasonable number? Because, I mean, do you really think that you're going to make 6.5% every single year for the rest of the time? No. There'll probably be another 2 or 3 market losses. So give me a number. What do you think? And again, you don't care because we've already won. We didn't win by a little. We won big time. So what if they said, well, maybe my lifetime return will be 5.5%. Watch age 73. My goodness, now they're out of money at 71. Here's the pain. $376,000. They only took home $528. And I usually go, wow, that's at least 50%. And they usually go, no, that's even more. This is very painful because they did not know this. Nobody points it out. No other software points it out. So now they're a little bit steamed, to say the least. And now they're a little bit worried. They're like, well, shoot, what am I going to do if I run out of money? And here's the solution. The Index Life Program. You're not going to run out of money until the day you pass away. At this point, you're $900,000 plus $500,000 ahead. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there, Steve, you forgot, a lot of people get an employer match. Well, I'll tell you this right now. The industry, the insurance industry, some of the biggest, brightest minds that talk about IUL, they always say, well, you know, if you're going to get company match, you really should take it. Well, let's take a look. What if this person was getting a $10,000 a year match, right? That's unheard of. Usually it's 2 to 4%. Watch this. How many additional years do you think $10,000 from 40 to 65, 25 years, how many additional years would that give you? 4 years? Really? You know, I look at company match as like crack cocaine because it keeps you in thinking you're getting something for nothing, where in fact, it really didn't make much of nothing. Oh, and take a look. Look at the fees you paid. Yeah, you got this $10,000 for free, but look at your fees. Look at your taxes. We saved $143,000 in taxes, $523,000 in fees. We gave this person over $700,000 of additional tax-free income, and there's a death benefit of $500,000. And that's with the match, which is not guaranteed and will probably be going away. Now look at that. We took that out. This is reality. Well, what if I live longer? Okay, if you live to 95, we're 1.7 million and 94,000 as compared to running out of money at age 71. Mr. Client, would you like to see what your numbers look like? And they go, well, yeah. Now, I just kind of laugh. I thought for sure you're going to tell me this looks too good to be true, because that's what about 70% of the people that I show this to. And they go, well, it does kind of look too good to be true. So once I do that, I ask them, I say, hey, if I could verify and validate this information, if I could prove to you that this is tax-free, that Congress passed 3 congressional acts to bring this into being back in the mid-1980s, if I could answer all your questions to 100% of your satisfaction, is this something that you would seriously consider as an alternative to your current qualified plan? And they say, well, yeah, I suppose so, but you're going to have to do a lot to convince me. I mean, really now, I mean, it really does look too good to be true, doesn't it? Yeah, of course it does. Now, I'm not going to go through this slide by slide, but I'm going to just show you that we use validation. You know, people, you're looked at as a salesperson. If you want to make more sales, double and triple your IUL sales, you got to quit being a salesperson. Let verification and validation. Here's third-party validation, right? You're not telling them. Steve Croft from CBS 60 Minutes is saying, hey, there's a problem with 401ks. Time Magazine, there's a problem with 401ks. So we go through and we just show people, hey, this is the information. We're not making it up. Oh, this is a great one. We provide this to you, by the way. You get this brochure from the Department of Labor talking about 401k plan fees. So if you tell somebody they've got fees and they don't even know they have fees, and they think, I don't have 401k fees and mutual fund fees, well, guess what? Here's a document that you can email to them and prove to them that you're not making these numbers up. There's the fact sheet. This is the rule that the government passed to improve transparency on 401k type plans. So again, I'm just going to kind of flip through this information so you can see we have a fully scripted PowerPoint that verifies and validates this information, so that you're no longer selling an IUL. This is very, very simple. Oh, you know, this is one. Let me explain this real quick. I think I got a little bit of time here. Wall Street always quotes the average rate of return. Well, average is mathematically correct, but the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate, that's the true rate of return. What does that mean? Well, Mr. Client, if you had $100,000 and the market went up 100%, you'd have $200,000 at the end of year one. Beginning year two, you've got $200,000. Market goes down 50%, you have $100,000. This is the CAGR. That is the true rate of return. Now, here's the math that Wall Street does. Again, it's mathematically correct, but the market went up 100%. It went down 50%. That gave you a net plus of 50%. You divide that over 2 years, that's a 25% average gain. Really? I don't think so. People don't know this stuff. And again, that's why you validate and verify this information. You help them understand what the cap and the floor is and how it works. And you go through, and here's the validation. Well, we're using the software. It's numbers. You're simply showing them the information. And it's very simple to use. It's very simple to learn. It doesn't take long. And you can get out and start showing this information. And you can close double, triple the IULs that you normally do. It's that simple. So I could answer and I could talk about this for probably an hour and a half. I don't want to do that. I'm going to cover one more thing. Compare the guarantees. What kind of guarantee do you have with your 401k? Well, it's guaranteed that 100% of that money is at risk of loss. With the IUL, it's guaranteed that if the market goes down, you don't lose any money. The gains were locked in. It's also guaranteed on your qualified plan that eventually you're going to have to take money out and you're going to pay taxes on those. And they said, yeah, I think taxes are going to go up. With the IUL, it's guaranteed to be tax-free if you structure it and take the money out the correct way. Oh, and by the way, you know, when you have those big years and the market goes up 10, 20, 30%, well, guess what? It's absolutely guaranteed that not one of those dollars are locked in. Well, with the IUL, it is locked in. You're never going to lose it. Yeah, you're going to pay money for the insurance, but big deal. You're going to have life insurance. You're going to have something to protect your family. Oh, and it's also guaranteed to be taxable. So when they pass away and they give a chunk of cash to their heirs, maybe the wife or the kids or whoever, it's going to go on top of their current income, and that's going to be taxable. Well, not so with the IUL. It's guaranteed to be tax-free. So that is very briefly the program. And like I said, inside of this, we provide you all kinds of information. We have a website. We're going to show you items that you've never seen before. And we're going to provide you ways that you can get in touch with people. We've got a lot of additional information. And Levinson is stepping up to the plate. So I'm going to pass it back over. If you have any questions, the Levinson group is going to answer your questions. They're going to tell you where you can get this software.
Yep, thank you very much, Steve. Great job as always. And once again, there is no skin off your back. Try the software for 4 months. If you don't like it or it's not working, which I highly doubt, then you don't owe us anything. If you like the software, it's working, you're making IUL sales or you're making more IUL sales than before, great. As long as you hit that minimum premium in 4 months, we pay for the entire year, almost $500 of value there. So great stuff, and Steve and his team will make sure that you're up and running and completely comfortable with the entire program. So once again, great stuff. Special thank you to Steve for joining us on today's call. Just a couple more slides here, and then we're going to wrap up. Joe is going to talk about our live upcoming agent training events. I'm going to mention our expo and what the qualifications are, and then we'll close out the call. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So just a couple upcoming webinars. You can register for every single one of these right on kerrylevinson.com. And join just like you are in today's phone call. So Tuesday, which is the 1st of November at 11 a.m., we're going over the eApp training for Fidelity Life. And then Thursday, which is actually the 3rd at 2 p.m., we're going over top non-med term and universal life products that include living benefits at no additional cost. That's actually going to be a webinar co-hosted by American National. So we're going to talk about the GUL product, the signature term product, a lot of great benefits rolled into one easy platform, including e-applications. There's even a great iPad incentive for those production requirements. So a great webinar. We'll be sending out an email on that. Monday, which is the 7th at 11:30 a.m., we're actually going over business owner sales solutions, so ways to actually target and prospect and market and present different solutions for business owners. That's going to be a great call. And then Wednesday the 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going over our exclusive mortgage lead program. We're actually going to have the lead program creator and a Levinson agent that's been using that program for about 4.5, 5 years to talk about how they've been using it to generate more sales. I definitely don't want to miss that webinar. Again, all those can be registered right on kerrylevinson.com.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Our 2017 Levinson Expo finally announced, and the qualifications are out. So I'm just going to mention this briefly. Write down this day. It's March 31st, 2017. It's also Carrie's birthday, my father Carrie, so big day for all of us. We're going to do a dinner the night before for all of our out-of-town guests. The expo is completely free to all Levinson agents, and then what we're doing is starting at just $10,000 of paid premium or annualized premium. You can qualify for 1 to 2 free nights at our South Florida beachfront location where we're having the expo, and or qualify for free round-trip airfare from anywhere in the country. So the qualification starts at $10,000, then $40,000 and $50,000, and you can get literally up to a whole weekend paid for by us, including round-trip airfare to and from. And if you're local or you want to drive in, of course, this is free. We take care of all of your meals at no charge, and it is a day full of sales ideas. We bring in our top VPs, underwriters from our top companies from around the country. We bring in some of our programmers for all of this cool technology, so you're going to hear firsthand from them what's hot and what's not in the industry. And then, of course, we have our keynote speaker, which is the Tony Robbins, literally Tony's right hand, Mike Savage, who's going to speak for an hour and a half, and he's going to talk all about Tony's latest book, all about motivation, positive energy. We do some great interactive, cool stuff. It will be a day you do not want to miss, I promise you, folks. Okay, we're making these bigger and better. We'll have over 200 agencies and agents in attendance. So March 31st, 2017. Okay, we're going to end with this. As you know, I'm very into motivation, and especially working in the insurance industry day in and day out. It's your job to stay focused, stay positive. When you get on the phone or when you meet a prospect in person, they feel that energy, okay? If it's negative or positive, it's going to come across. So you have to be in that right state of mind day in and day out. Keep all of the personal stuff out of the equation. Very, very important. If it's a book, a CD, if it's different motivational pitches that you like, whatever works for you, great. But make sure you stay on the right track. Keep your eye on the ball. I love this pitch by Mark Cuban. Work like there is someone working 24 hours a day to take it all away from you. I love that. Keep your eye on the ball, keep your right foot forward, and be obsessed with our industry and your profession. And I promise you, you will succeed, especially with us in the background holding your hand. With that said, have a great rest of your Friday, a good weekend, and good selling. Take care.